पञ्चस्कन्धः स च भवः भवाज jātiḥ pravartate.
pañca skandhāḥ च bhavaḥ bhavāj jātiḥ pravartate. So pañca means five, and skandha is the skandhas, the constituents. Pañca skandhāḥ, the five skandhas, which is rupa, the material body, vedana, feeling, chittam, mind, consciousness, samjna, perceptions, and samskara, doings, contrivances, doings contrived out of ignorance. So the Buddha encourages us to reflect on those five skandhas, not as non-empty things in themselves, but as a kind of an expedient means to reflect that what we think of as a person, an independent individual, is in fact, when we reflect on the five skandhas, it's something impersonal, empty. A person doesn't exist separately as a thing unto itself. So that's why here Nagarjuna is saying the five skandhas are becoming. Pañca skandhāḥ sa ca bhavaḥ. So the five skandhas are becoming itself. So saṁbhavaḥ means that becoming, or becoming itself. And in my text I've got bhavo, which the following word is bhavāj, and when you've got the nominative singular masculine ending bhavaḥ followed by bhava, that bhavaḥ goes to bhavo. So pañca skandhāḥ sa ca bhavo bhavāj jātiḥ pravartate. But in the text, in the recitation we've just heard, it's pañca skandhāḥ sa ca bhavaḥ, pause, bhavāj jātiḥ pravartate. So 6 or 1/2 dozen of the other. My text has bhavo. I'm following Xiaoyong Ye's work on the text of MMK, and he's got bhavo. So the five skandhas, the five constituents, again, cha, are becoming itself. So he is not saying there are five really existing skandhas, and they are the same as a non-empty thing called becoming. He's saying the conception that a psychophysical unity can be separated into five constituents, that is becoming. That is the becoming which is not separated from ignorance, samskaras, divided consciousness, and the rest. That's how I understand it. Then bhavāj, ablative, from becoming, out of becoming, jātiḥ, nominative singular masculine, birth, jāti, birth. Out of the becoming arises birth, pravartate, as we had before. Pravrit means to roll forward, to arise. Pañca skandhāḥ sa ca bhavaḥ bhavāj jātiḥ pravartate. Five constituents, again, are becoming itself. Out of the becoming arises birth.
Jarā-maraṇa-duḥkhādi śokāḥ saparidevanāḥ.
jarā-maraṇa-duḥkhādi śokāḥ saparidevanāḥ. So jara is old age, aging. Marana is dying, death. Dukkha is suffering. So jarā-maraṇa-duḥkhā is the suffering of aging and death. And adi means etc., or it literally means beginning with. So śokāḥ is nominative plural. So śokāḥ means grief, but in the plural we'd say sorrows. So sorrows beginning with the suffering of aging and death. We say the suffering of aging and death, the suffering and such like of aging and death. I've translated it. Saparidevanāḥ. Sa is a possessive prefix, so accompanied by or having. Paridevanāḥ, nominative plural. It means paridevanāḥ means complaining, bewailing. So I've translated it as both bewailing and complaining, with a bit of poetic license. So jarā-maraṇa-duḥkhādi śokāḥ saparidevanāḥ. The suffering and such like of aging and death, sorrows accompanied by bewailing and complaining. And then the suffering and such like continues in the next verse.
daurmanasyam upāyāsā jāter etat pravartate.
Daurmanasyam upāyāsā jāter etat pravartate. Daurmanasyam, downheartedness. Dur or dush is a pejorative prefix, so like in dukkha also. Sukha is happiness and dukkha is suffering. So it's thought literally it might mean sukha might mean something like going well, rolling along well, like a wheel that rolls well, and dukkha means not going well. And daurmanasyam, manasya is from manas, the mind. So daurmanasya means the mind that's not going well. So downheartedness, and that's singular. Then upāyāsā means something like troubles. And when I hear it, I can't help feeling it sounds, it's laying it on thick. I find some kind of ironic humour at play here. So it sounds like somebody, some unenlightened person, the kind of person I encounter in myself on a daily basis when I wake up and drag myself to the zafu, feeling sorry for myself. Jarā-maraṇa-duḥkhādi śokāḥ saparidevanāḥ daurmanasyam upāyāsā. So it's saying the same thing, isn't it? Sorrows accompanied by bewailing and complaining, downheartedness, troubles. For me, when I recite this, it kind of makes me smile to myself. This is the kind of formula that the Buddha made, and I can't help feeling there's a kind of humour at play in there. Jāter is ablative, jāter, ablative or jātiḥ, birth. From birth, etat, this, pravartate, arises. So all this previous bewailing, complaining, etc., arises out of birth. If you weren't born, you wouldn't be feeling so sorry for yourself. Daurmanasyam upāyāsā jāter etat pravartate. Downheartedness, troubles. All this arises out of birth.
kevalasyaivam etasya duḥkha-skandhasya saṁbhavaḥ.
Kevalasyaivam etasya duḥkha-skandhasya saṁbhavaḥ. So saṁbhavaḥ means there is coming into being. Saṁbhavaḥ, so bhava means being, sam is like together being, so saṁbhavaḥ suggests coming into being, and nominative, singular, masculine, saṁbhavaḥ, there is coming into being. And then you're going to have two genitives. Kevalasya, kevala is the whole. Etasya is genitive of etat, which means this. So kevalasya and etasya means this whole, and duḥkha-skandhasya. So this is skandha, as we met in the previous verse. Skandha means a constituent or an aggregate or a mass. So the five skandhas are sort of five masses, five conglomerations, if you like. So duḥkha-skandha is the aggregate of suffering. And in the genitive, duḥkha-skandhasya. Duḥkha-skandhasya, of the aggregate of suffering. Kevalasya, etasya, duḥkha-skandhasya, this whole aggregate of suffering. And then after kevalasyā, you've got evam, which means thus, in this way. So kevalasya and evam, kevalasyaivam. Kevalasyaivam, etasya, duḥkha-skandhasya, saṁbhavaḥ. In this way, there is the coming into being of this whole aggregate of suffering. So that's the end of verse 9. So that's taken us through all 12 links in the chain of the dependent arising of suffering. Link number 11 is birth. Link number 12 is the suffering and such like of aging and death. So that's to verse 9. We've got 3 verses left, and those 3 verses are really, really important, especially verses 10 and 11 that I discussed preemptively a little bit in discussing the opening verses of this chapter. So let's recap the whole chapter up to verse 9.
अथ द्वादशाङ्गपरीक्षा नाम षड्विंशतितमं प्रकरणम्.
Chapter 26, exploration of the 12 links.
पुनर्भवाय संस्कारान् अविद्या निवृत्तस्त्रिधा अभिसंस्कुरुते यांस्तेर् गतिं गच्छति कर्मभिः.
One enveloped in ignorance accumulates in the 3 ways the karma formations, samskaras, that lead to further becoming, and by these actions visits a realm.
विज्ञानं सन्निविशते संस्कारो प्रत्ययं गतो सन्निविष्टेथ विज्ञाने नामरूपं निषिच्यते.
Samskara conditioned consciousness seeps into the realm. Then, with the seeping in of divided consciousness, psychophysicality is instilled.
निषिक्ते नामरूपे तु षडायतन saṁbhavaḥ षडायतनमागम्य संस्पर्शः सम्प्रवर्तते.
But where psychophysicality is instilled, there is the coming into being of 6 sense spheres. 6 sense spheres having arrived, there occurs contact.
चक्षुः प्रतीत्यरूपं च समन्वाहारमेव च नामरूपं प्रतीत्यैवं विज्ञानं सम्प्रवर्तते.
Depending on eye, on form, and on the bringing of the two together. Depending, in other words, on psychophysicality, divided consciousness occurs.
सन्निपातस्त्रयाणां यो रूपविज्ञानचक्षुषां स्पर्शः स तस्मात् स्पर्शाच्च वेदना सम्प्रवर्तते.
Whatever combination there is of the three, form, consciousness, and I, that is contact. And from that contact, there occurs feeling.
वेदना प्रत्यया तृष्णा वेदनार्थं हि तृष्यते तृष्यमाण उपादानम् उपादत्ते चतुर्विधम्.
Conditioned by feeling, there is thirsting. For the object of feeling is thirsted after. While thirsting is going on, clinging takes hold in the four ways.
उपादाने सति भव उपादातुः प्रवर्तते स्याद्यद्यनुपादानो मुच्येत न भवेद् भवः.
Where there is clinging, the becoming arises of the clinger. For if it were free of clinging, becoming would be liberated and would not become becoming.
पञ्चस्कन्धः स च भवः भवाज jātiḥ pravartate jarā-maraṇa-duḥkhādi śokāḥ saparidevanāḥ.
5 constituents, skandhas, again, are becoming itself. Out of the becoming arises birth, the suffering and suchlike of aging and death, sorrows accompanied by bewailing and complaining.
daurmanasyam upāyāsā jāter etat pravartate kevalasyaivam etasya duḥkha-skandhasya saṁbhavaḥ.
Downheartedness, troubles. All this arises out of birth. In this way, there is the coming into being of this whole aggregate of suffering.